the stream. I'm very excited today to be chatting with all of you about the events of episode 92 of campaign 3 of Critical Role. Let's get into it. I'm excited. Why don't I have desktop audio right now? That seems loud. All right, there we go. I think I've got it all going. Please let me know if you can see me and you can hear me in the chat. Of course, I am streaming to Twitch and YouTube today, so welcome to all of you across both platforms. Let me just adjust my windows a little. I feel like I'm just so out of practice with streaming, even though I have still been streaming semi-frequently. I just feel like I haven't really got used to my new computer and streaming with it and all of those things. So the music is louder than me. Hopefully I've fixed it now. Is it better now? I know there's a little bit of a delay. Alright, I'm just gonna wait for chat to catch up because I have adjusted it. If it's still too loud, let me know. Hello, kitty. Hi. Hello. Yeah, there is a bit of a delay. Hi, oh, kitty. Everyone say hi to Marigold. Welcome, baby. You came just at the right time to be annoying, didn't you? She's like, let me rubble over this microphone and make lots of banging sounds. Music could come down a little more? Okay, no problemo. Let me do that for you. I'm very sensitive to background music, so I don't like to have it too loud. Just like a little bit of something. Kitty. Kitty, stop. Kitty, no. Kitty. Oh, don't show your butt on stream, Marigold. Excuse you. If you're over on Twitch, we do have adorable little kitty emotes, by the way. Kitty, you can sit down or you can hop off, but you can't really just keep walking back and forth. Are those Dorian-inspired earrings today? Felice, you are correct. They are indeed. I thought I would get into the spirit. Oh, my microphone is completely knocked over by my cat. Hold on. Okay, cat, I'm sorry, but Marigold. Kitty, no. Okay, this is not... She's completely blocking my screen now. Kitty, no. Okay. Right, down you go. Go join your sister. We've got the cat cam, of course, going in the corner. Here's my PG rating. I know, right? She's just being so tricksy. Right. Oh, there she goes. She's joining. She's going to shove into the cat bed now. It's not big enough. I did order some new ones, but they haven't arrived yet. Some bigger ones. It's extremely cute. Extremely cute. Marigold, 10 out of 10 on the name choosing. Thank you very much. I agree. We've got Clementine and Marigold because they're tortoiseshell. Welcome. Okay, before we fully get into things, just I guess a couple of really quick announcements. The first announcement is that there will be lots of spoilers today, so if you're not caught up and you care about spoilers, I would recommend going away. We are also going to be talking, for reasons, I guess this is a teensy spoiler in and of itself, or maybe it's a big one. We're also going to be talking about Exandria Unlimited, so please keep that in mind as well. I won't necessarily be talking about the events of EXU prior to Campaign 3 stuff, but how it connects to Campaign 3. So there we go. Also, I released a couple of new videos this week on my YouTube channel. So the first one is I did a reaction to the Tales of the Shire trailer, which is the new Lord of the Rings game. It looks so cute. It's just a really short little video talking a little bit about my love of The Hobbit and how excited I am for the game. And I also released episode 2 of my live D&D show, which is called Big Crit Energy. That is over on the Big Crit Energy YouTube channel. So let me just, I'll grab a link. And once again, I forgot to plug in my stream deck. I'm so organized, everybody. Let me grab a link for you. Yeah, I think it's a really funny show. If you haven't checked it out, I hope you will consider having a look at it. I think it's good. But we're a brand new show, so we just got an itty bitty YouTube channel. So there it is. There is the link to the episode 2 of Big Crit Energy. So those are kinds of those video announcements. Also, we are over on Twitch. We have a new sub giveaway goal, which is 100 new subs. When we reach 100 new subs, we will give away a Critical Role shop voucher. I also have a new Ko-fi goal, which is to buy a new desk chair, because I don't know if you can see in the camera, but like the cats have completely destroyed this chair. And it's also just, it's getting pretty old. I got it secondhand to begin with, and I've been having some back issues, so I want to invest in an upgrade in a new chair. So if you want to check that out, it's ko-fi.com/luboffen. Oh, the link is here. And you know what? I'll probably do a giveaway when we reach that goal as well. Why not? Just for some funds, just for some good times. So if you'd like to support the channel and literally support my back, you can you can do either of those two things. I'm just going to quickly say hi and thank you for some of the gift subs and things. There's a lot of people here today, so I'm sorry. I'm not going to go through and say hi to everyone like I normally do, just because I will probably be here for, I don't know, 11 days if I do that. So let me scroll up. Silent Infinity, thank you so much for the gifted subs. If you got a gift sub, please make sure that you say thank you. Sammy Two Cats, thank you so much for the follow. Yeah, I think I've caught up with everything. That's it. Okay, cool. I thought it was going to be a lot more. It's going to be an ad in 15 seconds? There shouldn't be. We've already had an ad. It tells me that an ad is going to go in 48 minutes. Multi-hyphenate, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome, welcome in. All right. 11 days. Love that reference. Oh, yes, I was definitely referencing something and not coming up with a random amount of time. Absolutely. Katsutage Twitch, I hope I said that correctly. Thank you so much for the follow as well. All right, well, a lot happened in the most recent episode, and I think that this has been one of those times where I think the fandom has been very divided. Obviously, no matter what happens in an episode, there are always going to be people who don't like it and people who do like it, and that's normal and fine. But I think particularly, I don't know, it seems like the discourse has been especially spicy this week. And I want to talk a little bit about how I think the fandom in general, the critter fandom in general, has a bit of an issue with critiques of the show. And I think it becomes really hard to discuss anything critically without people jumping to Critical Role's defense. And it's also further complicated by the fact that there are people who are arguing in bad faith, who are specifically trolling, or who I hate watching the show, who really just should stop watching the show because they're not enjoying it. But there's a difference between that and fans of the show having some like genuine concerns or like critiques of the show in good faith. And so I think that's just really fascinating. I don't think it's unique to the Critical Role fandom. I'm sure that's the case in any fandom. I'm not really active in many other online fandoms. I'm a lurker in a couple, but I don't really engage in the discourse that much. So I'm sure it's the case for any fandom. And I think that often comes up to the case, comes to be because people who really love Critical Role rightfully can get defensive of it because it's like something very personal and special to them, and any critique of that gets their hackles up, you know. So it was just very interesting to me to see some of the discourse sort of roll out online on Reddit and during the Twitch chat. I mean, the Twitch chat was absolutely atrocious. It was basically just people yelling at each other. And it was like, if anyone said that they weren't enjoying it, then they would be getting called complainers and whiners, being called entitled fans, which I really disagree with. You know, I'm sorry, but I really dislike this notion of, well, it's their game, they can play it however they want, and if you don't like it, stop watching. Because that's not really what's happening. They're not playing a home game that we are just like peering through the wall in. They're producing a show for entertainment. And whilst I think artists don't have to do things to appease fans or whatever, I totally don't agree with that. It's okay to critique a show that is a multi-million-dollar production. It's okay to say, I didn't like that, and I didn't think that was a good choice. So I think that that's just yeah, it's just a sort of an interesting problem. It makes it really, really hard to have a discussion about things, I think. So I'm hoping that today we can have a bit of a more nuanced discussion. There are lots of things I really enjoyed about the episode, and there are certainly some things that I didn't enjoy and some things I wish they would have done a little differently. So I'm kind of hoping that we can have a nice, like, chill chat about it today. I just want to remind, I guess, everyone to be really respectful. It's okay to disagree, and that's fine. But please, no personal attacks, no attacks against the cast. And, you know, like, if you can't be chill about it, then I'm sorry, but this is not really the place for you, and we'll probably have to use that block button, which, you know, I don't anticipate we will have to do. We generally have a pretty nice community here. I think we've had a few hot topics like this before in the past, and it's generally been pretty fine. So, all right, let me catch up and see what all of you have to say, because I was kind of on a little rant there. So yeah, let's see. Shardgate 2.0, yeah. Some fandom really don't like change. Yeah, I think that is absolutely true. I think it's okay to not like change, but I also think it's okay to, I think you also have to recognize that sometimes things change. I agree. I'm kind of debating going back and fully watching the Crown Keepers at the end of this episode. It was a bit hard to get into not knowing the characters well. Yeah, it's actually something that I want to chat about for... Yeah, maybe the first thing we can kind of jump into is I thought it was a really interesting choice to pair the Crown Keepers in with a main campaign episode in this way, because I think that doing that would have been a really good opportunity to introduce everybody to these characters and to get them excited about EXU. But I think the format really didn't work for that, because instead of it being like a fun introduction to the characters, who are these people? I want to know a bit more about them. It was like we got thrown into this really intense combat with some really like deep cuts going back literally years now. That if you haven't seen EXU, were really, really hard to get your head around. I wonder if it would have been a much better choice to do this little wrapping up, because obviously I think something's going to happen with Opal. They're going to have to wrap up that story, because you can't just like put on a vestige and not, you know, have anything bad happen or just have be like, oh, we'll carry on as normal. I really feel like that would have made better as a standalone little mini series, kind of like EXU Kaimal, and then introduce introduce Crown Keepers into the main campaign in a way that's a little more accessible to people who don't know who it is. I just think it was kind of jarring for people who were expecting a Bell's Hells episode to then have these characters that they don't know anything about. And I think that's reasonable. You know, I don't think it was necessarily implemented in the best way. I think if maybe they had a little bit more time to like interact with each other, but it was really very little amount of time interacting before jumping straight into this huge combat. Yeah, so I think it was a bit of a missed opportunity for getting main campaign fans excited about these characters that they didn't know about, you know? There's a reason I'm still in your Discord for live chat. The CR live Twitch chat is rough. Yeah, I normally don't check it. I always close the chat. Yeah. It was half of half. I would have preferred to see full episodes of both. Splitting it just kind of limited both stories. We didn't really get time to see the cast reflect fully on the loss, and I felt like the EXU cast was rushed. Yes, I agree. They had the twist is that Matt was waiting for a certain moment in the campaign to stop at, as they had announced the EXU one-shot prior. And they hit that moment sooner than... I don't think they announced it. I think they probably scheduled it. I don't think there was any announcement, right? But yeah, I agree. I think it made sense in terms of the story to cut it after Aurum sent the message. But I honestly felt a little... I didn't... what am I trying to say? I didn't enjoy it because that moment with Liam reaching out to Dorian was... Sorry, Liam. With Aurum reaching out to... Let's not mix up our characters here. Aurum reaching out to Dorian was so vulnerable, and it was so sad, and it was so tragic. And when Matt asked everybody to leave the table, I was convinced that just Robbie was going to come back and respond to the message. And then we were going to get like some kind of, I don't know, Robbie meeting... sorry, I keep saying Robbie. Dorian meeting up with the group. And so when it was like, oh no, actually we're jumping back in time to this other thing that you don't really remember because it was 3 years ago. What happened? Well, I mean, I don't know if it was that long ago. But yeah, I didn't... I thought that just kind of, it was a bit too much for me. I thought I really wanted to sit in that moment with Arm a little bit more and have a little bit more time with that. I would have liked to have seen that. But also, it does narratively make sense to cut there. It's like when you have a TV show, you know, you see someone thinking or talking about a character, and then you cut to that character to see what they're doing. So it was just, I think it was, you know, probably this was planned well ahead of time. I mean, that's a lot of people to organize their schedules. So I don't think it was like, oh crap, FCG died, let's do something else with this other group. I think this other group was probably already scheduled to film. I think it does seem they filmed after the episode because there's like a reference to Marisha's hot dog outfit, but they clearly had it scheduled, and it was just kind of like, okay, this is the best time to fit it in. But it just felt like, it just felt like a big, I don't know. Yeah, whiplash is kind of the one word I'm hearing kind of talked about. Let me scroll up a little bit. And now something else was definitely a fun moment. Yeah. Do you think Opal will leave and Denise will come in? I am wondering if that's the plan. I understand not wanting change. I have a lot of gripes with Campaign 3. I just hate, though, when they try something new, the community doesn't even give it a chance. I don't know if that's true. I think the community does give it a chance. But I think there's no surprise that people don't enjoy it as much. I mean, this is a tiny, tiny scale. But for myself, right, I spent 3 years making Critical Role recaps. Or 2 years. I don't know how many years. However long Critical Role's been, or Campaign 3 has been running, apart from like the last 20 episodes or so. And then I was like, I don't really want to do this anymore because it's really burning me out and it's making me really unhappy. So I'm going to keep doing some Critical Role content. But you know what? I'm going to sprinkle some other content in. Like yesterday, I made this Tales of the Shire video. And I lost a lot of subscribers from that video. I lost a pretty decent chunk of subscribers. And even though that sucks, I also have got to understand that people who came to me for Critical Role content don't want to see other content. And that's fine. It's not necessarily personal. It's just they're like, oh, I'm not really interested in this other stuff, so I'm going to unsubscribe. That's fine. And I think it's the same case with Critical Role. Like, they sort of have to understand that it's not going to be for everyone. There are always going to be those fans who will just devour every single thing they put out. But some people just want to watch the main show. They don't have time to watch the other shows, or they're not interested in watching them. And that's okay. Like, I think that's fine. I know what you're saying though, Deki. Like, I do think some people are just immediately like, no, I'm not going to look at this because it's not main campaign stuff. And I think they have done some really brilliant side projects. So I think, yeah, I totally understand what you're saying, but I do think the community generally does give it a chance. I think unfortunately EXU just wasn't received very well in the beginning. And I think that attitude has kind of like continued on. All right, let me catch up. Unpopular opinion, I didn't hate the EXU change of perspective. I mean, I don't know if that's unpopular. Like I said, I think that this has been really divisive because I have seen a lot of people who really enjoyed it. So yeah, and I think if you did enjoy the change of perspective, that's great. And honestly, I enjoyed it as well. I just wish it had happened differently. Like I would have loved to maybe have finished the episode with Bell's Hells and then to have Abria come in at the end and do that little like, ooh, I'm going to be taking over. Like, that would have got me super hyped and excited, because I was super hyped and excited when Abria came on. I was like in my Discord chat, like, ah, you know. Yeah, so I would have liked to have, I would have liked it to have not been quite such a like hard switch, you know. Was surprised but still liked it. Yeah, Jewel Dragon, you know, something that I actually read a comment on the YouTube VOD yesterday that was really good, and it basically said, here's like an analogy, right? It's like when you're expecting, you go to drink like a Coke and you're like, you really want the Coke. It's like, you know, it's going to be like crisp and refreshing and like fizzy. And you're like, yes, I'm pumped to have this Coke. And you take a drink from it and it's chocolate milk. And you're like, oh, well, I do really like chocolate milk, but I wasn't expecting chocolate milk. This is quite different. It would have been nice if I'd known I was just about to drink chocolate milk. Do you know what I mean? And that's how I feel about it. I really loved seeing the Crown Keepers again. I was really pumped and excited for it, but it wasn't what I was expecting. And it kind of made me be a bit like, you know, this kind of a vibe. I thought that was a really good way to put it. At least that's kind of how I felt about it. I would have liked to have known I was going to be drinking chocolate milk, you know? If you're used to classical music only, then a rock song, it can be shocking. Even if it's good rock, it's still surprising. Yeah, exactly. I think that's it. Your hair's really pretty. Thank you, Bombfuck Knight. Thank you so much. Let me scroll up a bit. Sorry, I know chat is moving really fast today, and I'm struggling to keep up, but I'm trying to catch up. I'm trying to get a vibe for how everybody's feeling. I feel like Aram and Ashton both had significant reactions to losing FCG, and I was anticipating sitting with more of that grief, especially to get more from Aram. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I absolutely agree. It also just felt... I know, obviously, that like the cast probably knew this was coming, and like maybe Liam had even been like prepped of like, okay, when you reach out to Dorian, that's kind of when we're gonna cut. But even just the way that everyone was dismissed from the table, it just didn't feel nice. Do you know what I mean? Like, it didn't feel... I'm not trying to say that, like, the cast were upset or anything like that, because I don't think they were. It was more just that it didn't leave me as an audience member with a nice feeling of, like... I was like, oh, God, Aram is, like, in this really heavy moment. And then it was just like, okay, leave the table. Everybody go. And I'm like, oh, okay. You know, like, it was a bit jarring, I guess, is the main thing. Yeah. I think it was good to get a different perspective on the gods, and also to see... Why are you doing this? See fully the desperation, especially after FCG's death. Yeah, and I actually think it's really smart to bring in a group who are a little bit more connected to the gods. Because we've got like quite a lot of god stuff happening in the Crown Keepers, and I think that that's a fantastic perspective to have in this kind of scenario where we've sort of had Bellshells who've been a little bit wishy-washy about it. So I agree. I think it's a really smart move to actually incorporate those people into the story. Love the kitty cam. Me too. Yeah. They're having their little snoozes. Having those little snoozes. Kind of feels like two misfit groups are going to end up teaming up to fight the sleeping one, which can make these kind of low-level nobodies into legends. I mean, yeah, it does feel like we're getting set up for some kind of team-up or a mix-up, right? I think this is more for the caster plan. A character dying is a lot to deal with, and now they need to organize something for Sam and give him time to create a full character. I mean, maybe, but we've certainly had other instances where people have left for a little while and before they come back with a new character. So that could be the case, but I don't know. I think it's more likely that they were like, okay, when we get back to Exandria, we're going to cut to Crown Keepers and see what they're up to. And then it was just bad timing with FCG because I don't think, you know, they anticipated that. And so they were like, well, we have to work this in somehow because we've already scheduled all these people that we're going to be paying to do the show. And it's hard to get a group together that are not regularly meeting. So I think it was probably more like that, you know? Oh, did I just wipe lipstick all over my face? No, I think I'm good. Okay. I think people who loved EXU were expecting FCGS to be the primary focus of the episode. Yeah. I wonder if Matt actually expected or planned for a TPK. Maybe Matt would have announced the Crown Keepers but changed the plan suddenly. Oh, I don't know about that. I don't think the fandom would respond very well to a TPK and then, hey, surprise, Crown Keepers. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Well, I want to talk about a couple of things that I did enjoy about the episode, because I feel like I have focused on some things that I didn't necessarily enjoy. Like I said, I think it's a really smart plan to have some people who are connected to the gods, so I really enjoyed that. I really loved seeing the Crown Keepers again, just in general. I will admit I'm not super attached to them. I was mostly just excited about seeing Dorian, because I'm like, oh, when is Dorian and Aurum gonna get in the same room? So I was excited about that. I know a lot of people didn't enjoy it, but I quite liked the sort of combining flashbacks with a combat sort of scenario, because we didn't get to see very much interaction between the characters, and I liked that gave us a little bit of a chance to kind of see some more interaction. I'm gonna be totally straight though. I watched the episode live, but when I watch live, I'm at work and I tend to get, I get phone calls, or I just like my mind drifts for a moment or whatever. So I feel like I got pretty lost in the combat. I didn't really understand what was going on. So yeah, I feel a little bit lost as to the combat, but I kind of enjoyed, yeah, I kind of enjoyed the sort of interspersing roleplay in with a combat, which I know not everybody enjoyed. There's a weird buzzing sound. Is that coming from me? Do you mean, sorry? Jen? Let me know if it's other people can hear a weird buzzing sound. Combat was messy and I think it dragged on longer than Abria intended. Yeah. Having subtitles on screen is such a cool thing for you to do. Oh, I'm glad they're helpful. Yeah, I know they're not super accurate, but they're better than nothing. Can anybody else hear a buzzing sound? No buzzing from you, Terry? Can't hear any buzzing? Okay, it might be just on your end, Jen? Okay, good. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for confirming. I know I've been bumping my mic a bit, so sometimes that can cause some weirdness. I'm kind of surprised by the general negativity. I am glad that the Spider Queen's crown is coming to roost. Yeah, I think it was just such a... I barely remember what happened in EXU, and I didn't finish the second half of EXU Kaimal. So I was a little bit lost. I kind of... You know, I have a bit of knowledge because I read recaps usually and I like keep up with what's happening from like fan conversations and stuff. But yeah, it was just an interesting choice to kind of put this into main campaign part when really it didn't actually have anything to do with the main campaign. Like obviously it does in that the Spider Queen is motivated to get Opal to actually do something for her because she doesn't want to die. Like she wants Opal to fight for her. So I guess that's the tie-in, which makes sense. But yeah, I don't know. I think it would have been, I think it just would have been better to have this as like a separate kind of thing. I don't know. I'm not sure. I think, yeah, I'm in two minds about it is really what I guess where I'm coming from. Like I liked parts about it and I didn't like parts about it. And I think that's fine. I'm also a little confused. I think it would have been helpful if they had specifically said when this is happening, because there was also a lot of confusion in the Twitch chat and I've still seen that confusion carrying through of when this is actually happening. So from what I understand, this is a like rewind and it's happening after Aurum messaged Dorian and asked Dorian to come to Zephyra, which happened like a little while ago. It would have just been like, even to just have like on the screen 7 days earlier or however many days it is. I don't know. I don't know what the time frame is. It's probably not that long in game, but it's been like a year or something in the real world. So it would have been really helpful to just have like a little, this is when this is taking place, because some people were like, oh, is this happening like right now? And I'm like, I think it's happening earlier. And then there's also some confusion about when Bell's Hells are going to return, because the end of the episode text said Bell's Hells will return in episode 93 after the Crown Keeper's thrilling adventure. So does that mean that episode 93 is going to be another half and half, or is there going to be an EXU episode in between? But then that would be really weird, because then if you're watching EXU, let's say, I mean, I don't think there would be any, but like, let's say you're a fan who only watches EXU. You watch EXU and then you're like, oh, I have to go to this episode 92 and then I have to watch EXU 5 or whatever it is numbered. So I think it has to be a half and half episode. But then again, that just feels so rushed. I don't know. Bria mentioned about getting a friend to sit next to Opal, but no one was brought in. I was curious about that too. I thought she was talking though about... Was that when she was talking about Ted, or I'm not sure. Hey, I finally managed to catch a live stream. The 4-hour time difference is rough. Oh my goodness, yeah. I thought it was right before Aurum messaged him at the start of the break. They probably meant to have those words come through at the end of combat. I don't think so. I think it was after Aurum messaged about Zephyra. I hope Danny's recap will clear things up. Oh yeah, I was wondering if that was out yet. I don't think so, right? I think it will be out tomorrow. Because it's Wednesday for me. It comes out on Wednesdays, but I think it'll be Wednesday tomorrow. You think it was Ted? Yeah, I think so as well. Are your watches called boffins? Yes, exactly. The boffins. I really enjoyed the combat. There's a narrative element for every turn to catch up on the story of EXU. You also think this will be a catalyst to bring Dorian back for the last arc of the campaign. I am hoping we are going to see that. Yeah, I'm hoping it's a setup for Dorian to return for the rest of the campaign. Or even not the rest of the campaign, but like for a decent amount of time. Yeah. I think the friend to sit next to you was Matt literally sitting next to her. Yeah, but then why would... Yeah, I'm not sure. I was a little confused. The reveal of Opal's backstory, because that's been kind of bugging me for a while. Yes, I will say I appreciated that we got a little bit more explanation about Ted and like what that was, because that whole plot point pretty much never made sense to me. I'll be honest. Like, I enjoyed it, but I was like, what? I'm just gonna accept this and not think too much about it because I don't know what's going on. So I really, really liked that we got some more Luxem lore. That's really cool. And that we now have this like other form of magic to split a soul apart. So it seems to me that like Opal's mother and Opal and Ted are all the same soul, but split apart, which is pretty cool. And that I think that was tied to the Luxem because Opal's mother, or like the original soul, was like interested or into the Luxem, right? Which the Luxem split itself apart across the world. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I would love to have gotten a little bit more about that stuff. I think that would be really cool. Because the Luxem is something that I am so intensely fascinated by and interested in, and like I have so many theories and ideas. I would just love to get a little bit more. She's the Trinity, yeah. I feel like Abria had a little trouble with Amy not wanting to be the bad guy, or her hesitancy to engage in the PvP, so the friend next to her, I think, was supposed to be an incentive. I'm not sure. Yeah, I do want to talk a little bit about the PvP stuff as well, because I think, again, this would have been a really great opportunity to showcase some really important stuff like safety tools. It would have been really helpful, I think, to have Abria and Amy say, we discussed this beforehand, and like, we talked about this, and so like, this is fun and we're enjoying this. Do you know what I mean? Whereas it didn't really feel like they had a discussion about PvP. Amy did not seem very keen. She did kind of go into it, I think, a bit more towards the end, but I think if you're going to do things like that, PvP, I do think it's really important to have a discussion about it beforehand. And yeah, I think it just would have been a really good opportunity to model that, you know? I generally, something I was uncomfortable with, but I generally just like PvP. I really don't mind PvP. In fact, I find it quite like thrilling and exciting, but it has to have buy-in from both sides. And whether or not it had a buy-in before the episode, like whether or not they did talk about it out of character, off the table, it would have been nice to have that buy-in communicated. And because it wasn't super communicated, I think that's what made it feel uncomfortable for me, you know? The Spider Queen and DM approval. I think it has to have player approval though. I don't think you can throw a player into a full-on PvP situation like that without a little bit more of off-table discussion. Yeah. So I would be curious to know if they did have any kind of discussion like that beforehand. You know, and if they didn't, then I think maybe that's just like a good little thing to know for next time, you know? Like, I think that is something that you need to sort of discuss with a player, because otherwise it's not fun. Like, I feel like if you put someone like Travis or Liam on the other side of a PvP situation, like they will relish in it. Like we've seen that happen before. When they'll like relish in it and they'll try and do their like big boy abilities and like do as much as they can, as much damage as they can. And then it's really like fun and exciting because it feels a bit more playful. But this felt like Abria was really like, you know, Amy, you got to do your high level spells. And Amy's like, oh, but I don't want to, you know, it's sort of a very different dynamic. Hey, Kimbra, welcome. The reluctance of Opal for PvP was very much part of the story. I think it further moves the story that the Spider Queen's prep to do what is needed to get their way. I guess so, yeah. Which I think would be a brilliant, like, would absolutely work if there's that player buy-in, you know? See, Amy's personality made her not want to hurt her friends. I don't think it was harmful or painful, though. Yeah. Especially separating the table the way they did. Yeah, it definitely felt... I would feel very... that would feel very confronting to be like, okay, I'm going to sit on this side of the table and I'm going to attack all of you. Felt more than player reluctance than character reluctance. Yeah. Yeah, so again, like, you know, role-play and improv is messy, and I think there's always going to be things that don't necessarily go the way you intended. Sometimes the dice will turn back against you or tell a different story than you expected, and that can sometimes lead to some awkwardness or like, oh, I'm not sure how to deal with this, I'm going to try this thing. Yeah, but yeah, it's just, I guess it's just disappointing that it happened in this instance. There was the appearance of having agency removed, whether that was the case or not. Yeah, I agree, Autograph Cat. Like, that's why it was like, if you communicate to the audience, we're all in on this. Like, checking in with each other. Hey, are you okay? Like, I think those are sort of really important things to do when you're having those kinds of encounters. I was actually afraid I would kill my friends in a PvP boss fight. Yes, Mermaid, yeah. Yeah, it would have been so smart to role model safety tools. I really do wish Critical Role would role model safety tools a little bit more. I think there's a really great video that Sodawax made about safety in Critical Role and how like they actually are using a lot of I wouldn't call them invisible, but like subtle safety tools. When you see them checking in with each other, you see them kind of making eye contact and using physical touch and things to check in with each other. But I would really love to see them model some more like concrete safety tools like X cards and things like that. Even if they don't actually use them, to just like have the option there and be like, we've got these cards here and maybe we'll use them sometime, you know. I think that would just be a really great opportunity to kind of like demonstrate that for a very large audience. But you know, that's just me. I think safety tools are dope and make a game way more fun. So that's just my opinion. Hey Shelly, how you going? Thank you so much for the sub. Welcome in. How you doing? Amy isn't experienced enough to lean into PvP. I think Abria probably would have gone in so hard if she had any doubts. Yeah. I don't know. Camping 3 is a perfect place to start your adventure with us. There may be spoilers and Easter eggs from previous campaigns, but that should not affect your overall enjoyment of the show. As the campaign progresses, it feels like this becomes less and less true. Yeah, it definitely does feel like the campaign that you really... It is like the MCU of Critical Role, this campaign, you know? Like FCG's Emotion Wheel. Yes. Alex talked about some great physical safety tools that CR used when they guessed it, but it would be nice to see them. Yeah, I wonder as well if that was like specifically for that game, because I think that game has safety tools built in as well, because it's all about like romance and stuff. FCG be resurrected? Maybe. I hope not though. Which is kind of mean, but I don't know. I would like to see that death stay permanent, you know? Really dig the MCU feel the campaign is right now. Yeah, I certainly I enjoy it as well. I think it does just make it difficult to jump in as a new watcher. It's like I watched every single Marvel movie up until what is it? Endgame? Endgame's the last one, right? That's why it's called Endgame. And then I watched a couple more after that, and then it sort of started to divest into different, into a new kind of story path. And because I didn't keep up, I feel like I really can't watch many Marvel movies anymore, because I'm like, I don't know who these people are, because I didn't watch the 10 movies and TV shows that came before it, like I did with all the other stuff. So yeah, I think it's kind of at that point. I do wonder if, if we've talked a bit about them potentially switching to Daggerheart and all those kinds of things. Maybe this is kind of their their last, like, I don't think they're leaving Exandria, but it could be they're like, we're going to include all the references here because when we do campaign 4 with Daggerheart, we're going to be like starting somewhere fresh in Exandria with a whole new, like, it'll feel more like campaign 2, you know, where there are not really any ties. Yeah. You watched the MCU series? No, I didn't. I watched a couple of bits and bobs, but I didn't really get into them. Yeah. Seems to be a history with a lot of at-table conflict between Brie and Amy, or maybe I'm misinterpreting it. I think that's a really important point, that we can't know at all what's going on off the table. And I really don't think it's appropriate to speculate because we don't know these people. We don't know anything about them or their relationships. So I think it's, you know, I think we can talk about the way things play out on the table and how that makes us feel and how we enjoy it and things like that. But I don't necessarily think it's appropriate to chat about or to speculate about personal relationships and things like that, because I just don't think that that's really going to get us anywhere necessarily, and it sort of feels a bit like crossing a line for me. I generally have a rule here of like that we don't do that because yeah, we're here to like watch a show. Yeah. So excited for Deadpool and Wolverine though. Oh yeah, I saw everybody freaking out about that, but I'm not really like, I haven't seen Deadpool, so I'm not really fully into that story. Yeah. The campaign, biggest gripe I have with this campaign is the lack of feeling that the party has had a solid win. I think that really comes down to the overall theme and feeling of this campaign, which feels very much like dread and like kind of a grim sort of a more like grim dark theme rather than something that feels a little bit more like heroic high fantasy of the earlier campaigns. Yeah. Thanks for the hype train on Twitch. Thank you. Ropenta, thank you so much for the resub for 23 months. That's almost 2 years. And Twin Masks, thank you as well for 21 months. Thank you so much. I just noticed that this should be below the alerts so you can actually see them. It's beautiful. There you go. Now you can see them. Temple of Witch, thank you for the 500 bits. Inked Fish, thank you for the 100 bits. Oh, good night. You're heading off. No worries. Good night. And FCG, Rez would cheapen the sacrifice he made. Yeah, I agree. Sam also has a history of changing out the character he's playing. Yes, absolutely. He's got a 3 for 3 now, pretty much. Wish they went even harder on it, on the Grimdark. Yeah. Thank you for the 500 bits, Silent Infinity and Jaylee. Rika, thank you for the 300 bits. Thanks so much, everybody. Thank you. That is so sweet. I just love hearing Lo saying, "It's beautiful," every 2 seconds when there are bits around. This group has not had as much help and handouts like they did in past canes. They are lacking in powerful weapons and magic items. Just seems so strange. I think they probably went into this wanting it to be a bit more of like a lower magic item, sort of lower help from outside forces game. Because when I went back and watched a bit of campaign 1 or a fair chunk of it, I was so shocked at like they are rich, man. They have so many magic items. Like it feels like every long rest they are like swapping out these legendary magic items. They had so much gold to just buy whatever they wanted. And then I think that they really scaled that back in campaign 2. You know, I think, which I think worked for me. Like, I don't know, I prefer to have a slightly lower, it's not like low magic, but it's like a lower magic item kind of business going on. I don't know. Hopefully my players are okay with that. And Dynixel, thank you so much for the follow. Now, I'd love to see Keyleth cast Reincarnation on FCG. Oh yeah, I could see that happening. But yeah, maybe like that could be like a end of campaign, like final episodes kind of thing, you know? They owned a castle, yeah. Did buy that lovely fire resistance ring, yeah. I'm gonna be disappointed if we don't see Denise and Derek's interact in character on stream. That would be very fun, yes. Oh, that would be good. I love the more personal relationship development of C2. Yeah. I've talked about this on before about, you know, these differences between like a character-driven versus a plot-driven game, and the sides of both of those things. It's because Pathfinder is a very high magic item game. Oh, I see. Yeah, I haven't played Pathfinder, so. You can see Matt quietly roll to see if Darius would have thought of that before he roleplayed certain actions. Yeah. Who's gonna bake Lord Estros's cookies? I mean, I've baked those cookies a couple of times, but I can't bake them in the game. Yeah. Need to head off? No worries, Harry. Thanks for hanging out. Oh, stream. I need to check why my bot isn't working. Hold on, let me see if I can fix that real quick. Log in. What's the time, by the way? I do have to go to work after this. To my boring old day job. Alright, let's see. It's just because it's just turned, the bot has just turned itself off for some reason. Oh well, put it back on. Hopefully it works now. Just as dust of deliciousness cupcake. Yeah. I know, I did enjoy that little detail in the book. I cannot see Sam wanting FCG back, partly because it kind of felt like he was a little tired of playing FCG. It felt like the perfect conclusion to FCG's arc. I agree. Yeah, I totally agree. I think the only way I think I would enjoy like a reincarnation situation is if it was like right at the very end of the episode or something. I don't know. But oh, how heartbreaking is it that like we found out this week that it was this week, wasn't it, that Ludinus has been excavating things from Aor, and so it seems like we're gonna get a little Aor arc right after FCG died. So, ugh, yeah, brutal. Oh, look at these kitties. Look at these babies. They're waking up from their little nap. Katie Dice, hello, welcome. Can't believe SCG dies right before we're about to go to Aor. I know, right? It's ridiculous. Oh, yeah. Because you know Matt's probably had that planned for ages and just didn't anticipate. Oh, didn't anticipate FCG dying. Ugh. Sorry. I love this cute little cup that I always make my coffee in every day. But I don't know if I've already shared this with you, but this is the sound it makes in the straw. It's so bad. So the only way I can stop it from doing that is to like pinch down on the straw so that it doesn't like make that whistling sound. So annoying because it's so cute in every other way. And it's like the perfect size, and like I can put it in my car or my bag and it doesn't spill. Ugh. Can't have everything, I guess. Oh, thank you so much for the hype train as well over on Twitch. Thank you. Shiny Click Clack, welcome. Came in during C2. This campaign feels like these characters don't have future goals like the 99 did. Chess Quests was over and done with, and he's alone for the ride. Lordner is just following Imogen. RIP FCG. Yeah, I think it's more, I don't know if it's necessarily that they don't have future goals. I think it's more just that their future is so taken up with the singular goal of stopping Predathos. And I think that's just like, that's a choice that Matt and potentially the cast have made to like have a more focused plot that is just a sort of single plot line. I think if we hadn't had the main plot introduced so early, we may have had a chance to explore some more of those character goals or like little side quests and things like we did in campaign 2. Kitties bathing each other, yeah. They're being very sweet right now. They can't imagine planning past the road stuff. Yeah, it's like when you've got something really, like, I don't know, when I have like a big event on my calendar, I actually have something next week that feels like that. It's really hard for me to see past it, and so I don't really want to plan stuff until after that's done because I'm like, oh, I just don't have the brain space for it right now. I need to get this other thing over and done with, and then once it's done, I can like look towards other stuff. And I think that's just kind of what it is, you know? A looming disaster makes it not possible to contemplate the beyond. I mean, yeah, they just like, plus we're moving time so granularly. in such a granular way. Like we're really following at a slow time pace. There's no time jumps or anything like that. So it's not like we get to see, you know, oh, it's been a week. Like, what have you been up to? Oh, well, I talked about this or I did this. Like, it's like, no, we're following them minute to minute. And there's no space for that. No, you're not going to be chatting about what you want to do after everything, like when your friends just died and stuff like that. And yet there were people who criticized the rambling of the second campaign. Yeah, that's right. I mean, campaign 2 did get a lot of flack for sort of being quite meandering. And I've talked about this before. I talked about it in a video that I made, that I think it's good that Critical Role is doing a more focused campaign, because I think it's good to change up styles and see what's working, you know? It's just that it's not particularly my favorite style, but yeah. The biggest time jumps are long rests. Yeah, and then I feel like we haven't even had one of those in ages. So... I feel like the storyline is just going on forever. Yeah. One apocalypse at a time. It's just like, let me get through this apocalypse. Oh, I just realized I've still got... Oh, sorry. That's my, like, dry shampoo. I don't have really bad dandruff, I promise. May have gotten one long rest on all I've ruined. Yeah. I will be clear. I really have enjoyed the Moon plotline. I think it's really fun. I love that we're getting this sort of huge story connected to the moon after all these little teasers have been dropped over the years about, you know, something happening on the second moon. So I think it's great. I do just wish maybe we'd gotten a little bit more time before the sort of main story was kicked in, just for a little bit more exploration and stuff. Are you a fan or a part of the team? I am a fan. This is all fan content. I am not affiliated with Critical Role in any way, shape, or form. Silverstep, welcome. The main plotline is so juicy. Yeah, I agree. I just wish we had a little bit more breathing room, I suppose. This was supposed to be the reconnaissance and information mission. I know, right? Oh my god. And then it just ended so badly. However, taking out Odahan is a pretty big win, you know? Some different people enjoy different aspects, and some campaigns focus more on one thing. Yeah. I know one of the times mentioned was 3 weeks. Where that is relevant, I don't know. Oh, sorry, you're replying to someone else. Trying to figure out the timeline between Ari and Mrs. Dorian. Yeah, I don't know. I think it has been like a couple of weeks, maybe. I write their script. Yeah, imagine if I like wrote their script and then I come on here and I spend the entire time talking about how I didn't enjoy what happened. Just to really throw everybody off the scent, you know? Oh. What class do you think Sam will pick for his new character? I don't know, because I'm like, is Sam even going to come back for the rest of this campaign? Although someone did point out that Tarion did come back around this point in... Or like Tarion was introduced around this point in campaign 1. I haven't finished all of campaign 1. So yeah. You're enough of a member of the team to have a nickname for Travis. That's true. That's just me though. No one else is allowed to call him William. It's exactly what an affiliate of Critical Roles would say. No, I have a feeling Critical Role probably doesn't want anything to do with me based on past things. Didn't Keyleth give them a return spell? Did they forget, or did I miss that? No, I think they were planning on using the staff, weren't they? I'm not sure. Terry was introduced in the same episode that he left. Yeah, but I think it was like later in the campaign, right? Sorry, I meant like it was later in the campaign. That's what I meant, not that there was like a gap or anything. The staff was out of charges. Yeah, I think they were planning on using the staff to get back, but then it was out of charges, so they couldn't. I loved that moment where they were trying to work out how to get back, and Fern's like, well, we could just use that, and is like about to start talking about the tunnel, and Imogen is like, there's no other way, we have to go on the bloody bridge. I thought that was good. I don't think they hate me, I just said they probably don't want anything to do with me. Solo class paladin would be a cool choice. Yeah, I would love to see a paladin. I would love to. It would be really funny actually if Sam does bring in a new character that is someone like who's fully like who maybe knows a bit more about the gods and is into the gods. Like, because FCG was very faithful to the Changebringer, but really had no idea about the Pantheon or the gods or how it all worked. Like, I remember when FCG was trying to encourage Fern to make a deal with Asmodeus, because FCG is like, yeah, but that's a god, right? And we like want to help the gods. And but with like no knowledge that Asmodeus is like the sworn enemy of the Changebringer. Like, it was pretty funny. Oh, we are about to have a little ad break. Sorry, Twitch has just notified me. So I'm going to take a quick break. It's a couple of minutes while the ads run. Don't worry, you're not going to miss anything. And yeah, take this opportunity to grab a drink, stretch your legs, all that jazz, and we'll be right back. And welcome back, everybody. Of course, we are chatting about episode 92 of Campaign 3. There are spoilers. Spoiler warning. Where were we? I don't remember what we were talking about, but I'm curious to hear what everybody thinks is going to happen next episode, because we kind of ended mid-combat, right? What happened at the end? Honestly, it's a little blurry. I really did intend to rewatch the back half of the episode before today, but I just ran out of time and I forgot. The cat bed is empty. Oh, the kitties have gone. Yeah, they've woken up from their nap now. We'll bring it back if they return. Well, you can see one of them here. Yeah, mid-combat. I wonder if that was supposed to be wrapped up in the single half, but they decided to chop it. So I think the Crown Keepers might end up being killed off. Oh no, I hope not. They're out doing important cat things. This is true. They've got business to attend to. Like, sit there and just stare into the distance. Cat also likes to be on the kitchen table. We tried really hard to stop them from doing that, but we're just like, they're probably doing it when we're at home, so we just wipe the table down frequently. It's like, what are you gonna do? When you're not around, the cats are gonna be mischievous. Sad thing is that if Dorian and the Crown Keepers meet up with Bell's Hells to help, Dariax will likely need to head off for something or worse. Yeah, I know, it's like... yeah, Matt's not going to be able to... Well, I guess he could still... Dariax could still be in the group, right? If Matt is GMing. What if Abria was GMing the whole group? That'd be interesting. I think the combat was supposed to be done at the beginning of the next episode would quickly catch them up to Bell's Hells and Orem's most recent sending. Yeah. If Dorian died, it might go over the edge for me being too depressing. Yeah. I see YouTube chat is speculating about Sam's new character. That they need a healer. Yeah. Or that the group in general just needs a healer, whether it's Sam's character or not. Expecting at least one character death next episode? Oh, I hope not. I think the combat will end with Lolth winning over Opal. Dariax will die if he doesn't join the main group. And the second part of the episode will be Bell's Hells at the camp. Yeah. Oh, imagine if Dorian died. No, I don't think I could do it. I don't think I could do it. I couldn't do it. No. Dariax is awesome. I do enjoy Dariax. We need to see Deanna, Frida, and Prism back. Oh, I would love to catch up with them. I mean, I'm obsessed with Emily Axford, so if Prism could come back, that would be so wonderful. I would love that. But yeah, I saw some people speculating about the timeline in the chat, because there's like, yeah, how long has it been since the party was split? And therefore, how long has it been since Denise left Bell's Hells to go and look for Dariax? In which case, where is Denise in this timeline right now, I guess? Prism is my favorite C3 character. Yeah, I love Prism so much. Emily Axford is just literally my favorite, I think. My favorite role player ever. Every character she ever makes. Am I the only person that thinks the Crown Keepers fight is pre-Solstice? I don't think you're the only person. I'm just really confused as to what the timeline is, actually. I wonder how the wiki is looking in terms of the timeline. Let's have a look and see if the wiki's got anything to say. They're usually pretty good about keeping stuff up. Oh, what's happening? Campaigns, Bell's Hells. Where do I find a timeline? You've got story arc summaries, but I want like a... There is a timeline. I've looked at it before. I'll just search for a timeline. Yeah, now that I'm not writing recaps, I'm definitely finding it harder to keep on top of like when stuff is happening. Okay, hold on. I've got it here. Let me... Hold on, let me get it so you guys can see as well. I forgot to put my browser source in, sorry. So let me just fix that. Oh, no. Oh no, I accidentally clicked on an ad. No! Okay. How do I? Right. Okay, so we've got Exandria Unlimited Prime, early to mid 842 PD. So 2 months and 20 days. So that expanded quite a while. We've got Campaign 3 Bell's Hells, which starts 843. Or well, actually, we need a date, don't we? 17/840. I don't know these dates though. I do have the Critical Role calendar right above me. So hold on, we should go up to when the all right, here is where the solstice happened. Or where the party split. So that was 21 Fesseron. So it's 22. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, I don't know. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So it was about 3 weeks until they got to Avontrevere. Is that right? And then... Well, this is saying 2 weeks, though. So 2 weeks after the party split is when they were in Rhodus. So it's only been 2 weeks since we saw Denise. And we don't have anything for Bell's Hells yet, I think. Does that seem right? Wasn't the Zephyr sending post solstice? I'm not sure. You're saying it's been a while. Yes, it has been a while. Hey, Alden, welcome. Calculations are incorrect. Yeah, I'm not very good at this stuff. So this is saying teleport plus 14. So I'm assuming that means like 14 days, right? I think Dorian got the sending that sent them on this mission pre-Celsius. Okay, let's see if we can find out when...
How do you want to do that?
Cinderblock Sally, hello, welcome. Hi, everybody. Welcome, Raiders. Everyone say hi to our new Raiders. My name is Luna. Today we're chatting about Critical Roles. So we're talking about episode 92. So if you care about spoilers, be aware there are going to be lots of spoilers. How was your stream? Welcome. Right now we're trying to untangle the timeline of the most recent events of the campaign, of like when stuff is happening. Okay, so the stuff that's happening here after campaign 3, this is from the Bright Queen comic, and this is from oh shit, Chronicles of Exandria. Wow. And this is from, yeah, Chronicles of Exandria as well. So from the comics. Pinpointing an exact time frame is going to be impossible. Yeah, I agree. The problem is I think they have been so good about keeping track of time that it then means when they start to go wibbly wobbly with it, everyone's like, "What? What's happening?" Okay, so what was I looking for? I wanted to see when Aram messaged Dorian. So was that... I don't remember when that was. After Dorian left Marquette, Aram kept talking to him through the Sending Stones. No, that's just what happened. Okay, so it doesn't actually mark exactly when. Oh, we might need to go to the transcripts. The Zephyr sending was like 2 days before Bell's Hill's present moment. It was before the moon trip number 2. Oh, I don't know. If they keep to canon from the comics, then we know the Spider Queen doesn't die. Oh, true. Honestly, Luna, I've scoured this shit and I couldn't pin it down. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know. We could check the transcripts, maybe. What kitty? What is that? I mean, I don't know. At the end of the day, it's like, does it really matter? But I don't know. I'm just like, now I feel like I want to know. Okay, so if I go Liam, Zephyra. Problem is he says Zephyra all the time. What, kitty? What is it? What? You want to come up? Oh, it was that one? Opal's getting pretty dark? Okay. Cats talk to you? They do meow a lot, which is like very strange for me because like my other cat, Molly, never really meowed at all. Kind of dark. Kind of dark. Oh no, it was Opal's getting. Oh, it's because I've got Liam. It's because I got Liam selected. Kinda dark. Kind of. We'll get there. We'll get there. Am I not getting the right? What is the thing? Ah, kitty. Meowing you is cute until it's not. Yeah. Find the Tempest. Find the Tempest. Liam. It was 86. Yeah, who said that? It was 86 in the chat. You are correct. Okay, Dice. Okay. What was this for a second?
Dorian. We're alive. Been to the moon. Going back. Find the Tempest. If I don't get the chance again, I've really missed you.
No words meet your ears, but you swear you heard something outside.
Okay. So this is, all right, so this is only a couple of days ago because this is when they found the portal and they came back through the portal and then Dorian sent the message. Oh, and I love you. Yeah. Yeah, they didn't include that part. Yeah. So yeah, it was only like 2 days before was that particular message. All right, I want to jump to episode 92 and just listen to Abria's introduction again.
Roll, where a bunch of us nerdy ass voice actors sit around and play Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, missing us, Samboy. But we are starting tonight with a word from our sponsor for the evening, Thorum.
Right here. Sorry, I just realized, is that loud enough?
So, my lovely crown keepers, Kaimel. After the events of our interlude, those long, long weeks ago, you all moved north past the Silvercut Crossroads to
Hello?
lay low in the Wildwood Valley. The settlements you dared stay at for more than a few days are more village than town, but the narrow edge of your escape from Posca and the Nameless Ones has you cagey. What's the true distance of her reach? How far would your sister go to find you? And what do you think, Fiorerai, she would do if she found you again? It's been almost a month of low living. The six of you, Cyrus included, have a small cache of broomstone that you all sort of harvested from your slow-moving getaway platform. Yeah, honestly, like the first 3 weeks was you just slowly drifting.
Can I use my stuff to move this thing faster? Can I row?
With our hands.
Can I row?
Cyrus has been doggy paddling for
Yeah,
weeks.
we're both back there. That checks out. Yeah.
Two little bimbos.
Two little bimbos just blowing in the breeze. Yeah, you guys were able to sort of harvest the broomstone from your platform. You have it secreted across the six of you. So in the event that you have to scatter, you all have access to an incredible amount of money. Were you able to find a place to fence it? You are not too far from Craghammer. Western is a little farther away, but those are big hubs. Posca's reach might get there. The Myriad, the Clasp, the people that were pushed out in Kymel. You are some of the few survivors of whatever went down there. And a big city isn't safe.
Kitty.
But 2 weeks ago, something new began.
Okay.
Whispers reached even your remote ears.
So 2 weeks ago is when the solstice happened for these guys.
A solstice, the moon of ill omen, the blight star, lost from the skies of Taldore, trapped over Marquette. Disenchantment of old and powerful magics. No sending, no teleportation, no resurrection. And those of you with connections to the gods of this world, the Wild Mother, the Spider Queen, the matron of ravens, and even the Observer. You have felt a pressing on the threads of your connections with them. From the prime and betrayer gods, your first inkling of fear. And even from the Observer, a new bit of interest.
Yeah. I want to learn more about when.
About the goings on in this world. And then a message from Orem. Desperate. So sad. Halfway around the world, he bade you find the Tempest in a tone that pushed your group from hiding to haste. So you find yourselves on the road once more, headed south, then east, towards the summit peaks and Zephyra.
All right, cool. So I think I think we could probably safely assume that this has happened after the message that Orem sent when they went through the portal and he bade Dorian to find the Tempest. So the message that we just watched before was that message. So this is happening 2 days prior to the current events. Or maybe not, because they've been traveling. So it could be happening at the same time. And maybe at the end of this combat, we're going to hear again Orem's message to Dorian that we just heard at the end of episode 92. Right. I think we've got it. I think we've got it. I think that works. But then I don't know where Denise is in all of this. Hevestro transported Denise to Dariak's location in Western and the rest of the team Isilra to Dressar. So how long ago was that? That was 2 weeks ago? I don't know. Keyleth is also not at the camp, so maybe she's at Zephyr and brings the Crown Keepers to meet up on Marquette. Yeah, maybe. No, it's not weeks, it's days. Orem messaged Aurum messaged Dorian telling him to find Keyleth 2 days ago. In game. Oh, are people saying it's weeks? It's 2 weeks since Denise teleported out. Is that what you're saying? Roll 3d10 for timeline, right? I'm taking psychic damage. Okay, so it's been 2 weeks since Denise was transported back to Dariex, and it's been 2 days since Aurum messaged Dorian. And that is when this is happening. Got it. Okay. So they're probably just going to hand wave over Denise, because, like, Dariex is here and hasn't mentioned, oh, by the way, my ex has been hunting me or whatever. Oh, man. And that was a message that had no reply. Yes. Yeah, but it's just been a long time. It's been a long time for us in in the real world. Have you seen this cat, by the way? She's going crazy. The adventure begins. All right. Back here again. Are you quite right, Clementine? Rainier the Lost, and it's Makatho. I hope I said that correctly. Thank you for the follows, by the way. Before Denise joins up and is right before. This fight leads Opal to go off Denise to join. The minor time skip of a few weeks. Yeah, I don't think it quite lines up either, but they could do it that way. They could kind of hand wave things that way. Denise was sent to the same city, but not the exact location, since the Crown Keepers are trying to avoid Posca. Yeah. Denise may have trouble finding them for a little while. Yeah. I think Matt doesn't like responding for Robbie. Yeah, I agree. Which I think at some point you do just have to do it if you're not going to have the character in the game, you know? I'm just going to assume the timelines match up if they meet up at some point. Anything else hurts my brain. Yeah, I think... Honestly, I think that's the smart way to go. Like, we could probably go over this timeline for the rest of the day and still not really feel sure. Oh, man. She's moving? Who's going to move? Oh, Amy's moving to New York? Oh, I see. Danny pops her head into annotate timelines like Clippy. Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, I guess we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. I am a little worried that, you know, if we're going to end this fight and see the Crown Keepers reunited with Bells Hells or Dorian, it's all going to feel kind of rushed, maybe. I suppose we'll just have to wait and see. Obviously, there is no new Bells Hells episode this week or EXU because it's a Candela week this week. Who's been watching Candela, by the way? I have completely not kept up with it. I had every intention of it. I've watched all of chapter 1 and chapter 2, and then chapter 3 I started watching and I kind of fell off, and I haven't watched any of chapter 4. How's it been? Has it been good? I hope Dorian survives because I think Aurum needs a kiss and a hug. I know. Dorian has to survive. It would be ridiculous otherwise. Liam is so good. Liam's a great GM. Yeah. Love the circle. Liam is killing it. I don't do creepy. Yeah, that's kind of me as well. The latest circle has been really good. Yeah. I wasn't surprised when I saw that Liam was GMing it because he's definitely perfect for it, I think. Brennan's been my favorite. Oh yeah, the final sort of scene with Brennan's character in chapter 2 was so good. So good. So creepy and awful and sad, and yeah, it was great. I really enjoyed it. I really wanted to watch that one in particular because I wanted to see Spencer's GM style for that game, considering that he wrote it or was one of the writers. Dorian is the sole survivor, and then he comes back the next campaign as Dark Dorian. Oh, man. I'm saving Candela for binging each season at a time. They're too complex to not watch at once. Yeah, it is a long gap to kind of try and remember what happened in the in-betweens. I feel like something in this campaign being rushed would be a refreshing change of pace. That's fair. That's fair. Spencer's GM style is so cinematic. Yeah, I think it's really apparent too in Daggerheart that that's kind of the style that they're going for. I talked about that a bit in my Daggerheart video that I made recently. Yeah. Denise literally scryed on Derek's before transporting and saw him in a tavern. There is no way she couldn't have found him if she wanted. Yeah, I'm still confused. So it's been 2 weeks since since Denise scryed and left to find Dariax. So we've got to assume that some kind of meeting happened there. Struggling to finish the Crown Keeper's fight. That's fair, yeah. I quite liked the role. I was talking about this earlier. I quite liked the roleplay elements of it, but I understand that that pace is not for everybody. Yeah. I think Cyrus needs to die for some gravity. Cyrus is kind of treated as a little bit of a joke character though, so I don't know if that would like land, to be honest. Guessing Denise and Derek's reunion got resolved off screen. Yeah. Oh. Thank you, Callisto. You're with me. I actually like it because it feels more suspense and thriller with the scariest parts just out of sight. Yeah, I think that's I expected it to be a little bit more overtly horror, but I definitely think it is more of that like creeping kind of suspense, which it still freaks me out. But yeah, I definitely agree that it sort of has that more of that tone. Gonna head out. No worries. Thanks so much for following and for joining us. Have a good rest of your evening. I'm about to wrap up soon actually because I've got to I gotta get to work soon. Liam and Damon having both Tal and Alex Ward in the same PC cast has been wonderful. Yes. Oh, and thank you for the sub as well. Thank you. I said follow, but I meant sub. Well, it came through as a follow. Anyway, thank you for the sub is what I'm trying to say. I appreciate you. Thank you. Cyrus is Dorian's brother. Who kind of has been turned into a bit of like a himbo joke kind of character. Yeah. Sam comes back to Cyrus. I hope not. I've seen a lot of speculation about like Sam coming back as different characters that we've already seen, and I want someone new. I don't want to see someone that we've seen before. I was in my 20s, I couldn't stand cosmic horror, and now I love it. Yeah, well, I mean, tastes change, right? Your interests evolve, which I think is perfectly normal and natural. Yeah. Well, I think that might be a good place to wrap up. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that we haven't touched on that I want to talk about. I don't know. I'm hoping that we're gonna see a little bit more time for, I don't know, a little ceremony for FCG or something would be nice. I desperately want to see Dorian and Orym reunited. I normally am not a shipper at all, but I ship it so hard. And I really want to, I mean, even if they don't end up ever romantically together or anything like that, I just think Orym really needs someone outside of the group to lean on right now, because I think he feels fundamentally misunderstood by the group. So I really want to see, yeah, I want to see Dorian and Orym reunited. And yeah, I guess it'll be whatever the next plan is now that they've returned from the moon. Like, what are they going to be doing next? Now they've got some information. I don't know if they have a huge amount of information, really, other than, obviously, we know what the city and everything looks like now. We know a bit more about the Weave Mind, this crystal pillar sort of situation. I think we might end up getting a little, maybe we're going to get a little side quest to Aor, which I would be pretty happy with. To be honest, I really think Aor is fascinating. It always bothered me in Campaign 2 how we didn't really get to explore it very much. So that would be cool, although heartbreaking given what happened with FCG. So yeah, I've been shipping it so hard since episode 3. Yeah. Hope they get to bury FCG and Zephyra. Oh man. Oh, I don't know. Yeah. We do need, I think some eulogies could be in some Caleb and Essek cameos with Aor, maybe. Well, I think that about does it for me for today, everyone. Thanks so much for hanging out. And I also really want to say I really appreciate all of you having such a respectful conversation about this episode, because I think I didn't really see people going off at each other in the chat at all. I don't think any of that happened. I think it sounds like people were sort of discussing and disagreeing quite respectfully. So I super appreciate that, and I just want to say thank you for that. And also thank you so much to my mods who have helped keep an eye on the chat. Thank you, mods. You're amazing. I am not sure when I'm going to be streaming next. Hopefully sometime next week. I actually really want to pick up our Baldur's Gate stream, our playthrough again, where we're playing as Caleb Widogast. And I'm hoping that maybe we can kick that off again next week. I really wanted to do a little edit of what's happened so far, just because it's been so long since I played, because I've not been well, so that we can like watch it before we jump back into the game to kind of refresh everybody where we're at. But if I can't get that done, I might just jump into the game anyway. Yeah, so maybe doing that sometime next week. But the best place, as always, to keep up with my schedule is on Discord or on Twitter. And yeah, I think that's it. Please check out my show Big Crit Energy. I think it's very funny and good, and episode 2 just dropped. Here is episode 2 right here. It's a very small channel, so I would really appreciate you subscribing if you're interested. And yeah, I think that's all. I think that's all I've got to say. I'm trying to think if I have any other announcements, but I don't. If you're not in the Discord, make sure you're in the Discord so that you can join in our live chats and further discussions about the episode. Yeah, I think that's it. All right, everyone. Bye. Have a good one. I'll see you later.